door up.
Okay.
All right, can I get a motion to come back into regular session at 9:23?
Yeah.
Who is, yeah, okay.
Wirt and then Eric second.
Okay.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous, carried and approved. All right, youth council will discuss in executive session. Mr. Blanchard, you are up.
Perfect. I've got some pretty handouts. In case you were interested in our numbers for the last 2 months, since we missed the board meeting apparently here. Last month. Just very briefly, February, we had 11 V&T stops, 1 parking ticket issued, no accidents, no violations, no misdemeanors, no felonies, no warrants, no DWIs, a couple of special details worked, no criminal complaints, 3 non-criminal complaints, put 333 miles on the cover, and we conducted 290 property checks. The second page of that is gonna be the monthly breakdown. I don't know if you guys have been getting these from our.
No, we've been getting the monthly sheet on top.
Okay, if you're interested, I can keep giving you these. This is just our log sheet that will show you this breakdown, kind of on the day-to-day. That would be February 7th, page 3 of your handy dandy handout, is the March totals, which we did 9 V&T stops, 0 parking tickets, 1 accident investigation, 2 violations were charged. No misdemeanors, no felonies, no warrants, no DWIs. 6 special details were no criminal complaints, 8 non-criminal complaints, put 466 miles on the car. Conducted 1 assist of the ambulance crew, 1 assist out in town, probably with the sheriff's department, and conducted 194 property checks.
Yeah, just so I know now, there's yourself,
There's myself,
Chris,
Trout, and Sydney Wheeler.
Sydney.
Sydney, that's why.
SYD.
How about that?
Wheeler.
Wheeler.
Report for the county.
Yes. Chris and Sydney are both part-time on the full-time report.
Are they possibly being laid off with the Seneca thing? They will.
You know, I don't know how that'll work out for them. With the Seneca Nation thing, they're looking at cutting full-time positions.
Really?
Whoa.
So it would be the junior most, how many ever they gotta go back. I'm not privy to all of those details, but I don't know if they would be laid off or if they're gonna just keep everybody on that they can part-time. I know the hours will probably get more and more scarce with the county, so.
How is it going for you guys with just 3 officers as far as scheduling the hours? Is it better that way, or?
Honestly, it's tight.
anybody
I've worked
exceeding
11
20?
days, the past 2 months. Chris Ross worked about 11 and Sydney between a couple of vacations, and she wanted to cut back on some hours. She's on 8 the past 2 months. So I know I have two openings with Jim and Mike both resigning. I wouldn't mind filling them both, and if anybody were to take a cut back in hours, it would probably be me, which, you know, would then save us a bit in the budget, you know, if I'm working fewer hours at a higher rate than they are.
Nobody's exceeding as far as the officers are either Sydney or Chris exceeding the 20 hours a week.
I believe so, it might be pretty close.
Awfully close. So we definitely need at least to have 1 position.
At least one.
What hours a week?
6 hours a night during the week and 8 on weekends, Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, I just heard another complaint this week about in the morning,
Okay.
particularly at the end of Leavenworth and Jefferson, that T there. And it doesn't have to be even every week, but if you can get someone scheduled and maybe sit over, even in our parking lot.
Just watching people snap.
Just watching people on that corner.
Sure.
I've had a mother that's, she's about ready to come on the blue. She came up with it, and it's not the first time. And, know, we got crossing guard on the corner by Franklin and Jefferson, but there's no one over on the other corner by Washington and Ellicott, you know, so maybe even sit down Ellicott on occasion, you know, in that 7:30 to 8 time.
Okay.
You know, that's really when the buses, or even in the afternoon if someone's in early, you know, in that 2:30 to 3 period. It's, I mean, Howard got hit there, last summer, right, or fall or whatever, you know, so it's just an occasional presence would probably make a difference, I would think.
The problem, I'm not intervening, is, Jefferson and Leavenworth there, everybody thinks you're going to school.
Yeah.
They don't believe that anybody's going.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what
Yeah.
the turn signals for.
True. I received the same complaint on the other end of Franklin, where, you know, people that live down there, everyone assumes you're gonna turn into the school, and so people coming out of that school are cutting people off. So we're addressing that as well. And, just, I've tried to work a little bit with the SRO there, and just, you know, if you can put out a public safety, like, whatever, you know, make sure you're coming to a stop using your turn signal and yielding the right way there. I talked really briefly with, some of the other board members about the car, but just to bring you two up to speed, our car is also recently out of, warranty, is acting up. I think in talking to Scott, the issue that I'm having is that basically it's losing power on occasion, and there's no throttle response now, and so and I turn the car off, turn it back on, everything works again. So, the consensus is that it might be a speed sensor issue. If that is the case, we're still under our powertrain warranty with Kiwanis Ford.
Just checking the light coming on or anything.
Well, it does when the issue occurs, and then when you turn the car off and turn it back on, everything's clear, no lights, and everything functions normally. So, like I said, it could be a wheel bearing issue with the speed sensor that's causing, you know, if one wheel all of a sudden isn't moving, or the computer on the car thinks it's not moving, it's gonna cause problems. So, our powertrain warranty is still in effect with Kiwanis Ford. So it's kind of a $90 gamble to set the car up there, have them look at it. If it's a powertrain issue, we're covered, they'll fix it. If not, it's a $90 fee for the diagnostic. We'll bring it back and Scott can look at it.
How often is this coming on?
It's happened to me once, it's happened to Chris twice, and I think Sydney had it happen once over the past month.
So,
That needs to be addressed.
It needs to be addressed, I can't have that.
if it happens on a weekend, like this coming weekend or at night, get a hold of me, I will put my scan tool on it and find out what it is.
Okay.
That way, cause did you take it to,
I haven't taken it anywhere, when.
with the check engine light on?
Well, it's not the check engine light, there's like a little wrench or whatever, and it's a specific light, it says, if this light's on, check the manual. You look at the manual says, service the Stabilitrack. So.
It's like a 5-second head start, what you're telling me?
Oh, yours is the Stabilitrack?
That's what the manual.
Someone's doing that too now, it's awesome, cause then it shuts your ABS off and.
Yeah, everything, there's no power to the engine, it
It runs
powers
like
under idle speed,
Yeah, it's great.
fantastic.
If it is, it could be a tone ring on the drive axle, if that's cracked and shifted so the speed sensor isn't getting a signal off of it. I don't know if we'll cover that in a power tree.
Like I said, it's a $90 gamble if it's,
Right.
when I talked to Gowanda, they said, you know, if it's the wheel bearing, we're good, you know, I don't know all the particulars of what's covered under the powertrain, but I think it's worth $90 to have them go look at it, and if it's something that's covered, then we don't have to pay anything.
Right.
Does anybody have an issue with him taking it to Gowanda? And then if it's not covered under warranty, then he takes it in town? I don't see an issue.
Getting smoked by the Amish.
Which
It's
are-
true. How about that, losing that face?
Alright, so that's that.
That's that, and then I don't know how many positions you're looking to fill at this point, or whether it's one or two, but I'd like to, get that addressed as well, so we can get working by next month, so.
Definitely one, of course. For two, is there really the need with having three deputies essentially, including yourself, so we have 4?
I guess it would be more of a luxury than a necessity. You know, even with just 4 people sometimes, I guess the problem is that everyone else has part-time jobs or full-time jobs in my case. So I make a schedule monthly, and in the, you know, historically Jim or Mike would make it scheduled monthly. We'd receive a schedule, you know, at the beginning of April and say, okay, I've got these days that I can fill. So now if something comes up, you know, either in personal time or work time, those days are kind of already accounted for between everyone else. So, you know, in the case of an emergency or something, it's really hard to get a substitute in and to cover a shift. And we've been pretty good the last few months about everybody's worked all their shifts. You know, I don't think there's been many days that we haven't had a car out. But you know, that's certainly a possibility if you only have 3 people to pick from,
Right.
you know, to get an alternate in. You know, so if I could get somebody that wanted to like work 1 day a week and then just be on call, that would be perfect. I don't know if there's somebody out there like that, but that would be an ideal situation for a 4th person other than myself. You know, 4th part-time officer other than my, you know, as the OIC. That would be cool. But I think right now we're probably looking at people that wanna work a few days.
Okay,
May I make a suggestion?
please opine.
How about if we look for somebody that's a retired police officer? That's willing, that's flexible in hours? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sure there's gotta be some guys out there that are retired, that are looking for a few hours here and there. Somebody could work morning, somebody maybe could come in the afternoon. Would be, you know,
It's back up.
that's all I'm saying.
Well, I definitely believe we need to have 1 additional officer, and then we have the other one would be for on-call
Sure.
to help.
Mhm.
Somebody's willing to take that position. So does anybody have an issue with putting out then that we are gonna hire for 1 officer and then a 2nd officer for on-call essentially? Bob?
Seemed like it'd be better to have more than
Then what?
somebody leaves you, you've got
Yeah.
somebody already there.
Right,
We've got 5 slots now, right?
right, we only
Yeah,
have
we
3.
have the open slots.
So do I have a motion then to publicize that we are hiring for 1 part-time officer, or for 2 part-time officers and 1 to be on call? Is that how we
So
should?
I would say 1 part-time and 1 on-call.
Okay, so 1 part-time and 1 on call.
2 officers, 1 on-call. It's kind of
Yes.
a little misleading.
Misleading,
Alright.
okay.
Well, maybe we'll hire 6.
Alright, so, and when do you want applications to be due by?
Is there a standard time frame? Like
I would say 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
You wanna advertise in the paper, cause the
The sooner
help
the
wanted
better.
ads are pricey. They're very, cause we had like a DPW ad that went to like this in order to make it a reasonable price. Do you wanna advertise it, or? We haven't advertised police officer positions before, so that's why I'm trying to,
So just what?
To
we
get
need
an
posting
idea.
then?
Mike and Don, I don't know how they contacted people, I have no idea. But we haven't advertised for police positions previously.
Posted at the county is probably where we're gonna get it.
That's where we get it.
You probably know some people that are
I know
interested.
some people might
Alright,
answer.
so, yeah, if we could at least just make a posting to hand out to,
And then I
to
can
give to,
Sure.
Yeah, I can
just
post in the
wonder
window,
about
I can
legality, you know.
put it on the website if you
It's
want.
not a competitive position, but,
so
I just wanna
then,
make sure all of our bases are covered then when we're screwing somebody over.
so if we say we have applications, so we could start that tomorrow, and then have applications due by 2 weeks, so the 26th?
Sure.
Review them before the May meeting.
Yep, and and then you'll bring it to, we'll make the decision, then we'll bring it to the board to make the appointments for the hires, so that would be two, one part-time, one,
Is he bringing recommendations to the board?
yes. One part-time and one,
Do we have to go off the hiring policy?
if we have somebody that's local, I mean, we wanna have somebody local,
Okay.
on call. So, and apps, apps due for, alright, so here's the resolution then. Need a motion to put out that we are hiring for one part-time and one on-call officer, and that applications will be accepted from 4/12 to 4/26.
I'll make that one.
Do I have a second?
Also.
Work?
Jason,
Sorry.
made a
I'm
motion,
sorry.
and Eric second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous, carried and approved.
And I'm posting in the window, and do you want it posted on the website?
We can do that.
How are we doing with idling time on a car? Are we leaving it sitting idling a while?
I tend to turn it off, force of habit, but, I don't know how it's kind of an odd situation, because if I'm sitting running radar, I'm not gonna turn the car on.
Right.
So you're kind of equaling out idling time sitting versus, I understand where the guys are coming from by leaving it, if they're gonna come in here and do whatever in the
Right.
office, they're gonna leave the car running. I get where they're coming from, there's a lot of draw in that battery, there's a lot of stuff that's sucking power out of it, so. And if you were to say start at the beginning of your shift at Leavenworth, drive up here, stop, turn the car on, and then come back and turn it on without turning off the radar, the computer, all that nonsense that's sucking out the battery, you might have a hard time starting it. But usually I'm driving around a little bit before I come in here to get that charger back up, but, I get where they're coming from, sort of the same thing as if you're sitting, running radar, you're gonna run the car. If you're driving around, you're gonna run the car. I think we're doing okay with it though. I don't make too many trips through Cattaraugus when I'm not working to see it sitting somewhere idling, but I guess that would, if you guys have heard complaints of it.
I have it.
Okay.
I have a couple, they see the brokers sitting out front here. I don't,
I think they understand the logistics behind this stuff.
right.
So if you can just, if somebody asks you,
Yeah.
explain.
That would be sort of in line with that car with no power thing, running out here to go to a call.
Right.
And it's not the 10 seconds it takes to start the car, it's if the battery's been drained for whatever, all that stuff running on you, and the car doesn't start.
Then what?
Equally screwed,
Right.
so.
Go jump, go jump.
Great, you guys have anything else for?
Just real quick, I'll find out if there's another, I'm assuming there's another convention meeting,
Okay.
you should probably,
Yeah.
I'll let you know. But I didn't. Oh, school. On the school website is a calendar, and it lists everything that goes on at
Sure.
school. So I think it's good to look at that. Interviewing for a new SRO, so we'll have a new SRO here shortly. Dalton's unfortunately a casualty of those layoffs. So you wanna, once whoever ends up there, we'll probably decide tomorrow night, I don't know that for sure. It's probably gonna be someone you know, but, just have some conversations that are.
Sure.
Isn't there
There's good things about that.
that car can be riveted?
I'm sure I can get on there and just print that school calendar out
Yeah.
and put
Yeah.
that in the office and just make.
Yep. You can download it to your Outlook Express or whatever, and on your calendar, you can order it.
Sure.
That it's,
End part of the year is really what I'm looking at, all that summer crap. And coordinate that with the rest of our options. The whole intent is to have that person around for some of that stuff too. So.
Alright, you're good to go, sir.
Alright.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Alright, let's see here. Rose, do we have anything for planning and zoning?
No.
So events, we have the Firemen's Convention and the Memorial Day Parade that are coming up.
Do you have dates on the fire convention?
I do not, I can get a hold of Mr. Pratt and get those.
Okay.
If you're gonna do that, find out when the next meeting is.
Okay.
And know.
Yep.
'Cause I-
The next
he
fireman's
needs to be-
meeting?
He needs to be
Convention.
involved. The convention.
So I will call,
I usually put a bug in the board's ear, at the April meeting regarding availability. If the board is going to be riding in the parade, if there's gonna be a truck, if a DPW person is driving said truck, what the plan is, and then in May, I'll try and get a better idea so that I can build my lineup,
okay.
such as it is.
Slingshot. Are you gonna be driving the backhoe down again?
I will let you know on that.
Okay.
You can get your motorcycle out of mothballs.
Jeez.
Probably if I got.
I would love to have my motorcycle go through the parade, absolutely.
I heard you can be right in front of the ambulance.
Oh, that's nice, that's real nice, Jesus.
With training,
With training, yeah. I can take my dad's strike.
There you go.
There we go, I don't have to worry about nothing.
There you go.
So in regards to the parade itself, I mean, I would like to, if the weather cooperates, I wanna take my bike. Will you take yours?
Yeah.
Regarding like for the rest, if say the weather's crappy, do we wanna do what we did last year and ride in the truck and hand out candy like we did?
I may be out of town. It depends on when we go to Canada.
Okay.
I really won't know until.
We had
We'll ride the truck with me, Bob?
Make sure you hold
No
him.
chocolate.
Do we have a trailer this year?
Not putting my bike on the trailer.
No, I'm saying if we, instead of riding in the truck, we could be on the trailer.
Oh, yeah.
is that line cleaning it all up, you know, painted up?
What's up?
Trailer.
Sure.
Good shop now.
Oh man, gas prices are down.
So then, yes, we're gonna have hopefully motorcycles, and the board will also be parading through again. So you're. Is there anything else for events that's coming up, or is it just those two?
Town picnic?
When are they starting the?
I would imagine soon. Get a jump on it for this year.
Where does that fall in all the midst of the stuff between conventions and everything else?
Trading Post is doing something at the Firemen's Club as well.
No, they're doing it at Center 6 on.
I just saw it on Facebook, so I don't know.
Where are they?
Unless
There
it's
was like
something else.
something with a 5K run and a fun run and some sort of carnival thing.
Oh,
Yeah, that's supposed to, she asked me if she could use our lot.
Oh.
July 16th? Is that Saturday?
Yeah, I don't remember the date, I just happened to see that Trading Post is doing
It's
something.
July 16th or 15th, whatever that Saturday is.
have they asked the village for
Actually,
anything?
probably got it, huh?
Have they asked the village for anything? I haven't heard.
She wanted to do a 5K. I told her to get a hold of Joe Friends because he's done the turkey trot thing for the last few years and he's knows what needs to be done. And I told her if she needed anything else, let us know. I got the date here.
Who's heading the community picnic now? Or do you know?
Last year was Bobby Joe.
Yeah.
She's the president of auxiliary now, so I imagine she'll be.
Well, I know last year there was Katie and Bobby Joe and Sis and Cammy that were all very involved.
Right.
Are they still gonna have a group like that, or is it all?
Probably. They got a meeting tomorrow night, so
Okay.
Sheila's secretary now, so we'll find out if she's ready then.
It is July 16th and the group, the church group that's been using the Center 6 lot is doing the second weekend of August, whatever that is. Which would probably be a convention by the sound of it, so that ought to be fun.
You get rental office down there?
Have a bunch of drugs running down the road.
So July
You guys
sixteenth.
have quite a lot down there.
Yes.
Man, you guys should,
It's the way
make
it
some profit here down there.
I'm a nice guy.
It's the way it always is, like you plan something and then somebody else says something.
That's good that they do. I mean, it's,
Alright, so I think that covers everything for events. Insurance, we already talked about insurance, none for civil defense. Ambulance,
Our annual meeting's Thursday. Other than that, nothing. I mean, we had a good turnout at the comedy show the other night. I guess they're gonna do it annually now.
so once a year.
Yeah. So, yeah, they gave me $1,000 profit.
Nice,
Pretty good for the area.
yeah, that is very good for the area. What about with the library, anything for that?
I got a meeting next week on that, so, but yeah, I don't, business as usual, I think they're. Third Wednesday of the month, for the library, if you wanna go to the meeting.
Okay.
I think they're having it around 4, but I'll check.
This week,
Is it third?
third Wednesday?
Third, I think it's
next Okay. So 4:20.
What time is that?
Usually around 4, 3:30, 4, but, I'll check, cause they've been kinda scheduling around me.
After 11?
Yeah.
Is that it for library?
Yep.
Alright, Jay?
After the discussion that we had last meeting regarding my position, I thought I would re-update the board regarding the ethical considerations of my retaining and why I'm still here. You have in front of you a legal memorandum as a note of my legal opinion and advice to the village, advising the previous board on why I am here. At the organizational meeting, April 6th of last year, a number of appointments were discussed. The discussion was heated. There were 2 changes in the appointments from previous, and the board is aware of those because they were discussed again at the last organizational meeting. I was appointed as the attorney, and Gary Brecker was appointed as the code enforcement officer. The board voted unanimously to appoint me as village attorney and agreed to my village retainer contract for the terms and conditions of my agreement. Before the next meeting after that, I received a phone call from one of the trustees, and he requested that I not attend the meeting and said that the board would like to discuss whether or not I was going to continue to be retained. On that phone call, I informed the trustee that I might be required to remove myself as attorney if a majority of the board voted for that. I said might because I did not actually know. I didn't do legal research into the issue. As an attorney, I'm bound by rules of professional conduct that require me to withdraw from service if my client no longer wants me to serve. Now, it's very difficult for some people to understand the distinction, so I'm going to be very slow here, and it's not to be deliberate or insulting. My client is the village of Cattaraugus. It is no one person or office. It's not just the Board of Trustees or the office of the mayor. It's the village as a municipal corporation. If the municipal corporation wanted to fire me, I would be required to withdraw my services. I would be required to ethically, and I would have, by my own personal moral code, feel the compunction to leave. The municipal corporation acts according to laws set forward in the state or any laws adopted locally. So the question of whether or not the municipal corporation chose to remove me or wanted to choose to remove me is a matter of state law. Who has the power to terminate the village attorney? I requested an opinion from the Office of the Attorney General. If you look on the 3rd page, that's what you'll see, the opinion from the Office of the Attorney General. And they state that it differs in 2 cases. If the village attorney is an office of employment, then the power exists with the mayor exclusively, both to retain or terminate, and regarding any questions on pay, they remain the same because if the board defunds the position, it's seen the same as terminating the position in violation of the power of the mayor. If, however, an attorney is put in a position solely as an independent contractor, then the power of the board, of the power to remove lies with the board. What does that mean? A majority of the board could remove me if I was an independent contractor. So the question turns on a very key point that at that meeting last year, we did not know. I certainly didn't, the mayor didn't because he was new to the position, and I'm not certain if the board knew because it wasn't past practice to be aware of it, but the village has an office of village attorney. It's on the books with the county HR department. It is a position of employment. Though it had not been used, the position remained. The mayor's appointment and approval by the board put me in that position because it existed. Now, I didn't know it at the time, but that is the case. And you can read the Attorney General's opinion on if there is or is not an office, how that gets treated. So we have some of the Attorney General's opinions. This is from the Attorney General's opinion in 1979. At the bottom it says page 177 if you're following along. A village board of trustees does not have the power to remove a village attorney who holds his position through appointment by mayor, and consequently, a resolution of the board of trustees that the village attorney, quote, be terminated with no benefits or salary as of the date, is ineffective to remove the village attorney. And a portion of the resolution eliminating benefits or salary cannot be operative because it's an attempt to accomplish indirectly that which the board of trustees is powerless to do directly. And so they talk, they say, we acknowledge the receipt of your letter about whether or not you are still the village attorney in the village of Chittenango. The following facts were presented and were used for answering the question. You were appointed village attorney in April 3, 1978 by the mayor, and appointment was approved by the village board of trustees. Commencing on the same date, on April of 79, the same mayor who had been reelected again appointed you. You had not resigned from the position or been removed by the mayor, and prior to the mayor's appointment, he had not attempted to appoint anyone else. The board of trustees refused to approve the appointment to you of the position on April 2, 79. Following the refusal, a motion was made and carried. It recited in the minutes of that meeting that you as village attorney, quote, be terminated with no benefits or salary as of April 1, 1979. I would like to note to the board that that fact set pattern is incredibly similar to the one that was put before you and what has existed in the last year. The Attorney General's office goes on. Village law, section 4-401C, which is still the same law today, has not changed since then, makes the appointment of a village attorney a mayor's appointment, subject only to approval by the board of trustees. However, the village mayor alone has the power to remove the village attorney, and such power is not subject either to consent or approval by the board of trustees. And they quote one of their previous opinions from 1974. The position of village attorney is as an employee of the village and exempt class of the civil service, which doesn't matter for this one. Employment in that class of civil service is at the will of the appointing officer or agency. Appointment is not consent, it's the person who does the picking, it's the mayor. And this is very important, employment continues until terminated by the appointment of a successor, and if I'm not mistaken, I haven't heard the mayor appoint somebody else, or resignation or from other similar causes. And those have not taken place. That's why I'm here. For the official record, because I need to work.
And then we do have multiple issues that we do need to discuss in executive session when the time comes.
Certainly.
Okay. Does anybody have anything for Mr. France presently? Rose, you are up.
The check for the Cat Little Valley Soccer Club has not been picked up yet. I called way back in the beginning and talked to, left a message for Ruth. I don't know if
I'll see
anybody's.
her tomorrow night.
You'll see her? Okay. Do you want to take it to her, or?
I might as well.
Okay, all right, I'll bring it over to you in a sec. Just an update, I think Wirt asked me to check to see if Janelle wanted to continue as substitute crossing guard. I did connect with her, this was like from February or something.
Oh, right.
I did connect with her, she did, want to continue as substitute crossing guard. I got a new contact number for her, and she's already worked 3 or 4 days since. So, she is up and active. I'm planning at this point to take my, week of vacation from May 3rd through May 7th. That would be a Tuesday through Saturday. There's that, to notify the board of that. We already talked about Memorial Day. I had a resident on North Franklin Street. We had a computer estimate for her at this last billing of 5,000 gallons. She would like her read changed to reflect 8,000 gallons, which was what she read on March 7th. We would have read it like beginning of February. When the guys did the read, I didn't get a read for her, so we did a computer estimate.
Okay.
And that was for the March 1st billing. The reads are done the first week of February. When she got her bill, she read her meter, and she called in and asked if we could change that computer estimate of 5,000 gallons to what she read the beginning of March, which was 8,000 gallons. And I said, I can't do that, but I would certainly take her request to the board.
So she was charged for,
It's the
She
same,
charged a minimum.
it's the same amount of money.
Estimated it.
It's a computer estimate of 5,000. She would like increase to the 8,000.
Is that because that's one house or residency that we're unable to see unless we're
She's
there?
retired. I'm not sure why we didn't get the read this time. A lot of times she returns
yeah,
a card.
but it's not, the minimum's 8,000.
Minimum's 8,000. That's what she wants it increased to.
Basically, she'd be starting in the hole if you didn't. She's getting billed for 8,000 regardless.
Regardless.
So if you leave her meter read at the 5,000, she's starting 3,000 in the hole, or
Toward the next
starting
quarter.
already consuming 3,000
Oh, I see.
towards the next.
Yeah.
So there's a likelihood that she goes over.
Right.
If that's what her, I mean, the computer estimate's based on usage,
Right.
Right.
past usage, so.
Do I have a motion?
Yeah, it was a problem.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
These,
What?
okay.
What?
It creates, hopefully this will all go away here very soon.
With the new meters.
Well, what do you-
But it
what's-
creates issues.
Where's the issue?
You have half of the meters in the town don't work.
Right, I understand that, but I'm talking with this one account here,
It's not an issue, but it can be.
Alternatively, if you've got those extra 3,000 gallons to play with, that's 3,000 gallons you can use before the meter catches up to what you've been billed for. So that you could.
She's doing the honest thing and requesting to be,
Well, yeah. I'm just saying, in another similar situation, you could be looking at someone who's stealing 3,000 gallons.
gotcha. Alright, so, Wirt, you made the motion? Jason, you second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. It's unanimous, carried and approved.
because the bill don't change,
No, it's still the minimum.
it's just the numbers.
Yes, for her next bill, essentially.
I'm sorry, just a moment.
No problem.
2, 8,000. Yeah, what about that?
Yeah, she knows it anyway.
Right,
Right.
but the numbers are only showing 5, but it was actually 8. She wants the numbers to show 8. So the next reading, that
She starts.
she doesn't,
Correct.
you got jammed at other 3,000.
Or if your system's bad enough, the system won't think that it rolled around and she used an entire meter's worth rolling around. I've had that once.
I have another water account. They were billed for 18,000. It's a elderly woman living alone. She has had readings like this in the past. They have asked us to check the meter before. Her family came in and said there's no leak in the house, there's no reason for the overage, and they refuse to pay any more overages. They would like a new meter.
Is this on Go Drive?
John, do you know about? Is there an issue with the meter? Is there a leak?
There's gotta be something wrong with it. I'm not, I'm
I
not
just- I
saying
try
you're
not to name
100% correct, but the last time I went and checked it, it was like a couple weeks after bills come out, and she already had used X amount of
I think I double checked this one, it's kinda
back
wrong.
again. There's gotta be,
A leak?
there's gotta be something wrong in that house, and I'm guessing it's a toilet, and they're not, I'm thinking it must be bypassing on the flapper. They're not hearing it, it's not like when it, how do you say, it? The one at Cedarville was doing the same thing, it wasn't sealing quite all the way, it would fill, and it would down.
I think that they would hear the water running on that toilet.
What, but it's one of the older meters where there's not that little red dial, there's singles in the new meters, got the little red dial, it constantly goes, even if it's just a little bit, and it's
Is-
not.
So you know if it has any.
Is it
Yeah.
that big of a deal to change the meter? I mean, is it a,
No,
To the act, no.
I mean, I can do it, I mean, if it's, but I haven't got a new one where I can start at zero, that's my problem. But we can do that, that's not a problem.
I mean, then there's nothing, change the meter and if it's still
change the
showing.
meter, say, even if it's at 20,000 to start with, and the
Just
next
write down-
quarter it's
just
at
write down
20,
what it is, and.
32,000.
Right.
hey, it's not the meter,
Right,
sorry.
Well, I've been there several times, and there's something going on there, and it's,
Have you been able to check the toilet to see if it was indeed leaking?
there's
constantly
nothing, I said, there's nothing wrong, no, I said, there's not an odd bathroom that somebody, don't, no. As part of the course, it's the meter. Well,
The only way to make sure is to
change the meter, and that was all under hoping that we could get this, we could get our new meter system in, and we could, but, well, yeah.
do they have, is this one of the houses that has a tank that gets pumped?
no.
There's
They're
no-
not, no, they don't have sewer. And then, if you change the meter, what am I doing with the overage from this bill? And
Sit
the
down,
pe- and
we
the
got
pe- and
pros.
the penalty,
Sit on it till.
Yeah.
So we can,
Wait to see if it's valid or not.
okay?
So, do I have?
Well, the problem is I have re-levies due to Cat County in 10 days.
You can't relevy,
No,
in my opinion.
we'll hold on to that though,
that's exactly what we're just gonna have to.
because that could be an error on our end, and that would be wrong to charge.
Well, the proof is in the pudding, it's pretty much go back to 5 days reader again.
Right.
So, there you go. So then at this point in time, I mean, so you're gonna go ahead and then
I will.
install a new meter.
Yeah, I'll ask Jean how I know we have certain accounts that get carried over that,
Fine.
like credits get carried over and town gets carried over, but within the village, I don't know how we carry a balance that's owing, so I'll check into that.
I think it's a recorder.
Change,
Yeah, we'll do that.
No, because all they're doing is just changing the.
penalty, no re-levy. Bam, okay, that one.
Okay.
Next one, John, you remember the accident between the plow truck and the county sheriff vehicle?
Yes, I thought this was.
They submitted the estimate to the insurance company.
Again?
No, I dropped the ball. They submitted finally the estimate to the insurance agency in November
Of last year,
November of this last year, yep.
of 14.
No,
Or no,
15. 15. The accident, I don't know when the accident was.
Oh, the accident was in 14.
Okay, well, they finally submitted the estimate to Cat County, or I'm sorry, Cat County submitted the estimate to our insurance company in November of 2015 on an accident from 2014. I dropped the ball. I was going to bring it back to the February, no, I found out that I had dropped the ball in February, was gonna bring it to the March meeting, and then here we are in April. So that's why it's taken so long to get this resolved. Hannah recommends that we pay it out of pocket because of the timeline, And it's an estimate of $718.44, rather than submitting a claim to the insurance
Well, that would
company.
make sense.
So, we just need the board to
Which
make a
one was
motion
that?
on if they want, do they wanna pay it out of pocket, do they wanna submit a claim?
I say we should pay it out of pocket, it's gonna make our, it's gonna be an accident on our premium, or on our insurance and raise the rate. When we've been going down.
Insurance company says, yeah.
Yes, you pay out of pocket,
Well, can I
yes.
interject with a couple
How
questions
you-
just as
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
spectator? What is your deductible limits? Do you carry a 500 deductible?
I don't even know
Deductible.
anymore. I
I
know
think
they're
it's
increasing,
I think it's 1,000,
So then-
So if it's 1,000, you're better off doing it, it's gonna pay out of pocket and not take the hit on the rate? And then, I take it it's one of your highway drivers? You can, I mean, this is a totally separate subject, but we also own a defensive driving school. We come in and train your home guys, and you will save 10% for each one of them guys off the liability portion of your vehicle. You can do that as a fleet program, even if you don't ever talk to us about that. Have your guys go online and do that. ARP offers them a lot of times in the community, they're fairly cheap and expensive. Take some of your time, that'll help get you down. But that's $750 if you have a $1,000 deductible or a $500 deductible. It's more advantageous to the community for you to pay that out of pocket, especially doing the fact the insurance company's probably gonna jack you up a little bit due to the time frame, because it's 2 years old, now you're going back to an old policy, it should have been rated by now, and there's a whole slippery slope you fall into there, so, long story a little shorter, I would, as a personal opinion, offer you to pay out of pocket.
Now you go back to your insurance company and tell them to pay for an accident 2 years ago.
Right, well, it's gonna be by documentation. The insured has rights and responsibilities under the contract within 30 days to notify any carrier of any losses, and there's a whole protocol they follow as well that you can get into, but, yeah, and that is something that, you know, when we come in there and quote you, we'll look at for you and see what you got and what you're doing, and try and help you decipher some of that.
Got a choice in mind?
Alright, so then, do I have a motion then to pay the accident, to Cat County for, what's the figure again,
$718.44.
Right, so for $718.44.
Do you want that on this abstract, add it to the where are we, April, add it to the April abstract, or put it onto the May one?
Add it on to April.
Okay,
That way we
so
can go
that's
ahead and
part of
make
the,
that payment.
that'll be part of the motion.
Yep. And Eric, are you making the motion?
Yes.
Okay, Eric made the motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
For a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous, bless you.
Where's that come out?
General,
Next.
next.
Back in, beginning of March, we talked about the water extensions received after the meeting.
Yeah.
And we had the email where we talked about, I said I was still waiting to hear about the extensions received. We can't make decisions by email, looking for guidance. Wirt said granting the extension was fine with him, waiting for Jay's response. Jay wrote, there's been a basic policy expressed, you can use that to approve plans, though the board really should express the policy in writing at the next meeting. And Wirt said, that's a good idea, add to the agenda for the March meeting.
What's this again?
Regarding water extension requests received after the meeting.
Right.
So I guess I'm just basically looking for approval on the water extensions after that meeting, that the extensions received after the meeting were approved as per the policy expressed at the meeting. You granted all the extensions you
Right.
heard at the meeting, and then we got some after the meeting.
Yeah,
So,
well, we don't need a motion for that, do we? 'Cause we
If
can
you
make a
want to
motion
adopt
that-
an actual policy as to why you're granting extensions, because right now, according to the water law, it says the village board can grant extensions for payment plans essentially, right? That's what we're talking about.
yeah, I
So-
guess I'm not so much, I want the board to approve the extensions, not me.
But if
I'm
you
not
set a
so much-
specific policy in writing for her to follow, then she can follow that, and you don't have to make you don't have to adopt it every time, or if there's one that's missed, or a few in this case, she's following the policy, the stopgap, if it's not brought up at a meeting.
I'm not really looking for approval for going forward so much as I am the ones that we approved after the meeting that we kind of just said, okay, yeah, that should be fine.
What happened to
That
the
those
half,
are approved and I didn't do something that I wasn't supposed to.
what happened to the half down payment plan that we did? Is that gone now? Is it-
Yeah,
enough
we
of that?
we stopped doing that because we had to do the total due. Remember you came in and we talked about that we were doing the total due? That we couldn't do that payment plan because it kicked it into the next quarter, and then you had people who were
Okay,
paying back on like a quarter or two ago. It was becoming convoluted and even more twisted. So it's a total due. So I guess I'm just checking to see, do we need a motion in the minutes for those extensions that were approved after the meeting?
I don't see why we would need a motion, because we can make a motion to approve.
You made a motion and approved the ones at the
Did we?
meeting, So I just want to
See
make
why
sure
I
that
like-
I didn't do something that I shouldn't have.
So then, do I have a motion then to, let me phrase it.
And this wouldn't be so out of
Just
out of
certify
time,
approval.
because this was beginning of March, but
Right.
it kicked it in.
So
at
then,
the
just to
wrong
say that, make a motion that we authorize the extensions for the requests we received via mail or email after the board meeting. Is that all it needs to state?
one. Yeah, after the February meeting.
Yes. Do I have a motion?
Word?
Wort made it. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous, carried, and approved.
Last thing,
Quick question, in
been a
regards
long
to.
2 months.
Yeah, it has. Regarding the policy water extension, would that need to be,
Just, I
would
would
that have
advise
to
the
be
board.
added into the law? Like, would
No.
we have to have a hearing regarding that, or no?
No, and the reason that it isn't is because the local water law says the village board shall have a plan, but it doesn't say what it has to be. So it's whatever you choose to adopt by resolution for that.
Okay.
Now, I would advise adopting one, some type of a policy so that there's consistent application. You want consistent application. And so that in the future boards know what the policy has been, rather than ad hoc decision making.
Can you add that for? I can just get one drafted up that we can review and I can forward to you, Jenny, and we should be able to approve it at our May meeting. So could you add that to, new business for bank?
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay, last thing, we have a resident at the top of West Street who, was on the water shut off, and I had been told that the DPW couldn't shut him off. But while he was talking to me about possibly coming in to pay, he said that he came in about 20 years ago and talked to the board at the time because of the cost of running the generator in order to get enough water pressure, in order to be able to shower and do things at his home. He's not getting a sewer electric credit each year on his June water bill. He's not one of those places with a sewer pump that gets that credit. I did go back, we did a minute search, and in September and October, it was discussed. I can make a copy if you guys want to review this for next month's meeting. I just realized that it would have been helpful for you guys to have this to look at.
So what is he requesting?
He's requesting some sort of break on his water bills or credit for the sewer, or for the electric credit for the last 20 years.
For the last 20 years.
Have you found the shut off?
There is none.
There isn't anything. He's constantly on the shut off, but we can't shut him off because he doesn't have a shut off.
How does he not have to
Oh.
shut off? Isn't there a valve that, for every resident?
No, this is one of those things that happened. That's all I can, the best of my knowledge, I can tell you, there is no shut off for his house. Problem being, he's at the top of West Hill.
At the very, very top, and the
He
woods
has-
are at the very top before the reservoir.
Right next to the-
I'm-
Right next to the.
Across the street or?
Yes, yes.
Ah. Okay.
The pressure is like nothing there. Why, I don't quite get it. He put up, basically the same thing he put in for a well. Black tank, quarter horse motor to make his pressure stay.
Mm.
It's the best I can, as far as anything recollecting of him getting reimbursed for electric use for it, I have. Like I said, if it's not in the minutes,
What does the minutes say, Rose?
The September one says, the residents discussed the large water bill they recently received, noted his meter had not been read since November of 2 years previous and felt he should not have to pay the excess. Resident also noted they had used an electric pump to have enough pressure, stated it was unfair to spend money to run the pump and to pay an excessive water bill. Superintendent Huber stated water meter cards had been left for them to send in their reading. The mayor stated the board did not have a policy to follow in this instance. The board would discuss options and let the resident know the decision. The mayor noted the resident was still responsible for the current minimum on the bill. At the next meeting, the clerk requested a decision be made regarding the resident's water bill. Motion made, seconded to send him a letter requesting electric usage information of the pump. Motion carried.
And then what happened after that?
Didn't find anything after that.
How can someone request 20 years to go back and not?
What I don't understand why he doesn't have pressure. He has the biggest water reservoir for the whole village sitting right next to him,
for the life of me, I don't
pushing
know.
water into his house. He should have all kinds of pressure.
You said he's level with the reservoir, at the same elevation, gravity, because you need a difference in gravity between where the water is stored in the house for it to create pressure to push it in.
Isn't the new
It's
reservoir
hydrostatic
higher than
pressure.
the old one?
Yes.
Yes.
New
The
reservoirs.
reservoir of
Right?
however many feet of water is trying to push water into his.
It should.
I
It's
understand.
not. It's not level. It's a slant.
Well, I don't know how I wanna say this without getting anybody in trouble. Not so much trouble. Well, the truth hurts. You know what it boils down to me? This is how I look at it. He come to board with this problem back years ago. It sounds like to me. Sounds like the ball kinda got dropped on both ends. From what I understand from the minutes and from the residents' view. The house is for sale, he owes $222 in back water bills. Isn't something like that, Rose? Close.
No, it's actually, cause we're at the end of the year. This is the December, he's probably in the 700s now.
Okay, so
It's 3-4 months worth now.
what I'm
Or 4
surmising,
quarters.
and it's probably not right for me to point fingers, but this is what I'm surmising. He's trying to sell a house, and he probably knows he probably can't get the house sold without the water bill paid in full. So basically what he's thinking is, now I'm gonna go back and ask him for 20 years back, or I'll ask him to forgive the $700 water bill. Now, Mr. Pritchard, curiosity, how much do you get reimbursed each year for your sewer pump? Just off the top of your head?
I couldn't tell you.
Most of them are
Don't know.
It's not a lot of money, is it?
between a couple bucks.
It's not enough for me to know the difference, put it that way, yes.
Okay,
Most of them are a couple bucks.
alright. So there, I'm guessing most bladder tanks, maybe an 8-horse. I believe your house has got probably, that's a 1-horse pump.
Mhm.
So if you're getting, say if you get $2 a year for a 1-horse pump, an 8-horse pump in
20 cents.
20 cents. In 20
He's getting a
years,
deal.
20 years, it's not gonna make.
But here's the other thing. Rose, when's the last time he actually paid his bill?
Several years ago,
Yeah, he never pays his bill.
he does.
His bill gets re-levied
Every year.
on his taxes every
2011.
single year, okay? So,
It's guaranteed money.
Not very tough.
Essentially,
The White House
He doesn't have to worry about it until
Um,
his taxes come due.
Right.
And then he doesn't pay his village taxes and it gets re-levied on his town and county. You know, it's the same old story all over again. Your explanation is probably dead on.
well,
So if we let him get away with it, then every swinging dick will come in here with some sob story that they were promised this, they were promised that.
well, the proof is in the pudding, there it is. It was brought up, it was addressed, and dropped.
Well, so
There's responsibility on both ends.
Exactly,
So-
so what it boils down to is, the way I look at it is, why would you wait 20 years to go back and want
Yeah, that doesn't
something?
make any sense.
And it's
So-
not existing boards.
So then, if you would, you need a motion then to advise the resident that the board rejects his claim or offer, I guess?
Often, I could just wait another 20 years.
Request.
Request, yes.
It's not a very nice thing to say.
You don't need a motion, do you?
I,
I think so.
I-